Freedom can thunder like a sold-out arena or whisper like a concrete corridor. Brittney Griner has tasted both. 9 months in a silent Khimki jail, convicted on August 4, 2022, then exchanged for arms lord Viktor Bout 4 months later, taught her exactly what hush feels like. Yet, in May 2025, back on the hardwood, she bristled that WNBA games had grown disruptive, a place where a laptop used to fit right on your knees. Whether that line began as satire or slip, the backlash was deafening. Overnight, the comment mutated into memes, hot takes, and a new question pulsing through every timeline: is crowd noise an inconvenience, or the loudest thank you note a freed athlete could ever hear? The flashpoint looked harmless, a Facebook parody post quoting Griner's alleged gripe. Within 24 hours, the joke outran its satire tag, piling up 3 million impressions across X and Instagram. Analysts snatched it up, pundits riffed, morning shows clucked their tongues. Then an unverified video snippet appeared, suggesting she'd brushed off the shouting as lightly racist. Accuracy didn't matter. Outrage already burned white-hot. Context sharpened the sting. 2 weeks later, Chicago hosted Indiana inside United Center, even with rookie phenom Caitlin Clark nursing a quad strain. 19,496 fans, the largest crowd in Sky history, poured in. To many, that full house proved how far the league had come from the days when ushers joked about echo chambers. The irony? The atmosphere Griner supposedly dreaded was precisely what tens of thousands now paid to feel. But social media heat is volatile. It only takes one voice to forge chaos into narrative fire. Patrick Bet-David, former 101st Airborne paratrooper turned entrepreneurial mogul, speaks with the certainty of someone who counts both minutes and margins. On May 27th, he cued the misquote on his Valuetainment podcast, slid closer to the mic, and let the silence stretch before landing the blow. Brittney, crowds aren't chains, remember Russia? 6 words, 6 million YouTube views in 72 hours. He recited the arithmetic. One American athlete swapped for Viktor Bout, an arms trafficker nicknamed the Merchant of Death. 8 months after his release, Bout was reportedly sniffing around new arms shipments in Yemen. The conclusion was brutal but crystalline. That stadium roar? It's the invoice for your freedom. Pay it with gratitude, not gripes. The clip exploded on TikTok. Invoice for freedom stitched across 180,000 feeds in a weekend, morphing into merch, memes, and hashtags. Yet numbers speak louder than quips, and the numbers were just getting started. Every sport has a tipping point. Women's basketball found its fault line the first time Caitlin Clark curled off a screen, dribbled once, and drilled a 30-footer like it was a layup. She brought swagger, arena lighting power, and an on-court snarl the internet loves. Forbes clocked franchise values tripling since 2023, pinning the league's first ever billion-dollar revenue projection on the Clark effect. The proof was mercilessly simple. When her quad tweak benched her for 4 road games, TickPick data showed get-in prices for Chicago's matchup collapsing from $86 to $25, a 71% free fall in less than an hour. Washington's dip was nearly identical. Meanwhile, national TV averages leapt 68% year over year, overtaking midweek MLS broadcasts for the first time. Crowds were no longer a luxury, they were lifeblood. And nothing drives a league's heart rate like the realization that one rookie's ankle tape can swing millions in revenue. But a deeper cost still lurked beneath the roar, the price already paid to secure freedom itself. Timeline refresher: arrested February 17, 2022 for cannabis oil cartridges. Tried July 1st to August 4th. Sentenced 9 years. Shipped to penal colony IK2 in Mordovia's frostbitten woods. Swapped December 8th for Viktor Bout. On the tarmac in Abu Dhabi, Griner exhaled her first unchaperoned breath in 295 days. Bout wasted no time re-entering Russian politics, joining the ultranationalist LDPR by March 2023. An October 2024 Wall Street Journal probe alleged he was negotiating a fresh $10 million rifle run to Houthis in Yemen. The optics were poison: freedom for one forward, guns for one proxy war. Every time Griner sighed a disruptive cheers, cable hosts simply rolled that exchange footage again. Silence in a penal cell had cost the world sound in arenas for 25 years. Now the world wanted a return on its risky investment, paid in decibels. But noise was only half the equation. The other half ran through envy, rumor, and race. Clark's magnetism reignited an old wound. Why do some dazzling black veterans still toil in obscurity while a white rookie crashes onto Times Square billboards? The numbers muddied the narrative. Nneka Ogwumike's 2016 MVP jersey never cracked Fanatics' top 10 sellers until Clark fever drove fans to discover the archives. Meanwhile, Clark averaged 19 points and 9 assists as a rookie, an achievement matched only by Diana Taurasi 2 decades earlier. Talent plus timing equaled tidal wave, and the tidal wave came wearing a ponytail from Des Moines. Patrick Bet-David cut through the tension. Michael Jordan drew cameras in a league full of superstars. He said, "The lens hires whoever fills the frame." The phrase "lens hires talent" trended for 2 straight days. Still, resentment lingered. Was the spotlight color-coded, or simply starstruck? Either way, the lens was now attached to every court, and it wasn't designed with a mute button. Consider Seattle's 12th man. The Seahawks trademarked their crowd noise. Fans buy certificates bragging they contributed to a 137.6 decibel stadium quake in 2013. In entertainment, volume sells. Conversely, for the WNBA's first 25 seasons, hush came at a staggering cost. Leaked NBA audits pegged average annual losses at roughly $10 million. Now, ESPN's April 2025 doubleheader pulled 64 million viewers, a primetime rating that elbowed aside a Brewers-Cardinals MLB game. Fanatics crowned Clark's alternate fever jersey the fastest-selling women's sports item in its quarter-century catalog. The lesson is blunt. If you can hear yourself think on the court, the balance sheet is probably bleeding. And with new teams on deck, any drop in sonic momentum could slice valuations overnight. The Bay Area Valkyries launch in 2025, already sitting on 15,000 season ticket deposits, a women's sports record before a single player signs. Portland and Toronto line up for 2026. Behind closed doors, venture capital groups jostle for slices of a meteorites deal rumored at $410 million over 6 years. Yet every term sheet includes a kill switch. Ratings fall below 500,000. Or average attendance slips under 8,000, escrow dries up faster than chalk at tip-off. Investors tolerate risk, not regression. If in-house stars attack the very enthusiasm those investors crave, don't expect patience. The league stands on a high wire, wind at its back, but one ill-timed gust away from a plunge nobody wants. Which brings us full circle to the only sound that truly matters. Picture 2 snapshots. Snapshot 1, dusk in a Moldovan corridor, the clang of a cell door, your pulse the only rhythm. Snapshot 2, an arena vibrating so hard your shoes buzz, 20,000 strangers chanting your name while flashbulbs staccato across the rafters. Brittney Griner climbed from one reality into the other, at a cost measured in geopolitical IOUs. Civilization footed that bill so she could hear this roar. Crowd noise is chaotic, occasionally cruel, and sometimes laced with bias, yet it is proof the women's game finally matters. Muted, and the billion-dollar tide drains back into silence. Welcome it, and the WNBA rewrites its future in thunder. So when a father and daughter leap to their feet and holler, hear it for what it truly is, the loudest thank you note on earth. Freedom rings. Let it ring out. Like, share, subscribe if you are new, and stay tuned for my WNBA news.